Hey everybody, welcome to Epic Time. It is a day 8. I'll get my microphone to work here. We're at the Black Hills Harley. Bear with me another second while I, share what we're doing, what we got going on, give people a chance to get on and give it a chance to show up as we are live on File Monsters, and we are. So that's awesome. I just got to share to some groups here so people can see it and share it. If you're bored right now, do the same thing I'm doing, hit the share button. This is day 8, like I said. So right now you just get on your share button, share it, get more people on, get more people watching, get more people learning about the challenge, about Mile Monsters, about the bike I got sitting out front that's got a few miles on it. It is amazing the number of people that stop to look at that bike. It's just sitting out there parked in front of our tent, and it just draws people in. And I gotta learn how to use a microphone. It's not my first day, but I'm not getting any brighter as the week goes on, I'll tell you that. But I did find a spot to take a nap today. Tomorrow I got it dialed in. I'm gonna have my umbrella with me to block the sun, because I got a perfect spot, and then the sun came around and got my eyes. I'm like, oh, I got an answer for that. But anyhow, today we were out at the Faces. That was a lot of fun doing the show from out in the field, so to speak, and we had a lot of interaction with people. It was a lot of fun. Little Samuel, he was there, and we got a great picture of him afterwards. And of course, my StreamYard won't let me load it under my format. It says try back later, and try later means that's not happening. So I gotta screenshot my photo and send it to myself, and we'll get that later. But we do got some photos. We want to get people caught up on where everybody's at, and it has been blazing hot here. And everything you can see right now was just jam-packed with people earlier today. It was crazy. So I think tomorrow's noon show we're going to do from right here when it's stupid busy, and then maybe the 7 o'clock show we might do from the road and try that, because the parking lot is starting to thin out, and I think it gets so hot that everybody's just done. They come here in the morning, they do their thing, and then now it's not done, but it's definitely a lot slower than it was this afternoon. When we came back from Mount Rushmore, it was just crazy busy in here. So that was just absolutely nuts. Well, let's get you caught up, on everything, and get you caught up on where these riders are, where some, Mile Monsters are, and, that thing. And Daryl was at that place today. Maybe his things are still here. I don't know. No, it looks like they're gone. He had left some stuff here while he was, playing with his motorcycle. So anyhow, we're gonna check the screen out, and we're gonna see how everybody's doing out there. This is day 8, and I told all the riders before, this is when you're gonna be running into the wall. This is when they're feeling done. Day 8 is, an emotional day, because a lot of riders are gonna realize that there's a very good chance they're not making it to the finish line, right now. And, that hits hard when you have your goal was to make the finish line in 14 days. And now some of these riders are starting to go, you know what, that's not happening. And I get it. If there's a problem, you have motorcycle issues, but some of them are realizing they bit off more than they can chew. And this challenge is not a joke, and it's a struggle, but a lot of them make it to the checkpoint. You really gotta be to the checkpoint, especially if you're in that group that was the northern group. You're fighting through it. You might have a little bit of time. That route would seem like it was taking a little bit longer. They did the northern one. So the southern riders, they have to be in today, or there's not a chance. They're not making it. And no southern riders going in that northern route and gonna magically make up. And there's nobody gonna do that in 5 days. So if somebody thinks they're gonna hit that northern route and go up through the UP, down through Michigan, over to Rhode Island, and work their way through, 17,843 corners in 3 days, that's not happening. So, and if that number sounds very formal, like I'm looking at at something. It's not. I just made it up. So I'm not going to be able to repeat how many corners it was. But I tell you what, the riders, everybody I've talked to, any text I've got, stupid amounts of cornering and technical riding. And if you got hit with rain or blazing sun, you just have embraced the suck. So the suck is hitting you hard. And a lot of people are having troubles, as you see on the screen. You know, it is so spread out. I mean, it is just complete chaos where riders are. You got riders from both groups kind of intermingling in places, and it's just absolutely nuts. So let's see what somebody said first. Let's look at Teeter. Teeter and Roadrunner are both Mile Monster riders, and they're hanging out. They're having lunch. This is the you know, they're kind of the power couple of the Hoka. They're going to be too tired to punch me in the face for that. But, you know, they were all riding together. We were wondering who was going to get with who. And, you know, evidently Dirty Dan and Ren, you know, teamed up, and Teeter and Roadrunner to get together. But, you know, they're getting gas here at somewhere. But either that or they're buying some Bitcoin, because the Casey's Pizza as a thing there says buy Bitcoin. So, you know, maybe they're not just getting gas. Maybe they're trying to figure out what they're going to invest in next. So they are sitting right there. Look at how they're alone. Oh, they're in the Cherokee Nation there in Oklahoma, and that's a great ride. That was part of my ride in my Mile Monster Inc., putting it on the map, and that's a just beautiful country through there, all the way down. So, like I said before, this is an awesome, you know, route that they get to ride. They're going to be tired of corners. They're going to be sick of it and done. But when they're not done, they're going to be very happy that, you know, they got to see it, got to do it. You know, they're happy when they're done, but looking back on it, it's going to bring back a lot of smiles. And there's Ren right there. I don't know. I guess him and Dan ended up falling out. And, you know, maybe they're under trial separation. So for now, Dirty Dan is up front. Brian, you know, is a little ahead of Ren, but they're all getting after it. Dan is stopped right now. We get gas. A little early out west to be sleeping, so I'm sure whatever this is a gas station. Yep, there's a fine arts center. He could be taking a nap there. You never know. It's pretty awesome that, you know, if they're smart enough to sleep during the day when it's hot, man, I think you have a really good advantage when you do that. You don't wear your tires out as much when you ride at night. You don't do a lot of things that are really hard on you if you get to ride at night. I can't do it, so my hats go off to anybody that can. There's Nancy. She's leading the way. Nancy Webb, 1072. You know, ripping down. I don't know what the difference is. And that's a long pipe. Hey, my man, when's the last time you got a haircut? A long time ago? He got some cool hair. You got to get this kid to come up in front of the camera. There's a camera right there if you want to come up. I couldn't hear it. No, he's like, nope, I don't know that. Yeah, there's a kid out there. He's got some really cool hair. But I might have to put the camera up if it's a little different, but he ain't having it. So, God, can you hear these pipes? They're super loud. And I love annoying pipes. I love them on my bike. I just hate them when I'm next to it, standing next to them. But it's awesome when you're on the bike and that's your pipe, so you get to blow everybody's ears out. That kid wasn't having it. He got a bracelet. He's not coming on he's not walking up. Oh, let's see if he's coming up. He might, nah, he's just off screen. Come right up to that motorcycle. Come on, you got this. He's like, no way, I'm not doing it. He's really fighting it. This would be great entertainment. He's not having it, not for a bracelet. It's all good. I was just asking him when he's got long hair. So he's got the long hair in the back, you know, and he's got the party in the back and business on the top. But I was wondering when was the last time he had that cut in the back, but he's not answering me. He's got a flow. Looks badass. I want to show people. I want to show him off. But he's not having it. This guy, he'll show off. Walking by in his hat, carrying his bag. A little slow, but he's walking. He don't even care. Yeah, I'll see you, buddy. He wasn't having it. But he's got the flow going, man. He had a full mullet in the back, and it was long. But I tried to ask him when he got a cut last, but he wasn't having it. I got somebody wheeling by. See, he's not lazy at all. He's doing everything by hand. He's not talking to me either. But anyhow, we'll get you back up. I wanted to see the kid, but he wasn't having it. All right. Do we know which monsters have made that checkpoint? There was a bunch of them close. I did do some checking. Oops, wrong button. Sorry. I did do some checking close to see what group did. And right now, out of the monsters, we have 12 monsters that are out of the event. So their trackers are turned off, and I actually think it's 13 because there's another one that was still technically on, but Gopher was on I-40 heading west, and I think his tracker's turned on, but I think his riding is turned off. I had heard he had some bike issues, meaning it fell on his leg and jacked his leg up, and he had to go home. But I haven't talked to him myself, and I wasn't sure, and he was still, tracker is still available. But I just checked it, and he's on I-40, you know, banging the other way. So we have 13 riders that are out, and that would be, Gophers would be a fall over. So we have 1, possibly 2 wrecks, and because Loco was out when he got a ticket, and then he got a wreck, so he got a double whammy. So I'm not really sure what category to put him in, but we've had 2 that are out because of a ticket. We've got 5 that are out that I'm not even sure of. They're question marks. 2 that are out because of bike issues. One of those being Iceman. And we have 2 that their motorcycles fell over on them. Or when they fell over, they got hurt. That was both Brandy and now Gopher. And then we had a wreck last night. So I understand that our one that wrecked last night is doing okay. Just had a pretty good wreck. So I haven't talked to him myself, but they had a car ran a red light. A car ran a red light, and the car didn't have its headlights on to top it off, so it ran a red light with its headlights off, and he crashed into that car. And that motorcycle got totaled, and it was my favorite motorcycle. I had honestly planned to steal that before the end of the year. So I'm a little bummed out now that that had to get totaled like that, but I'm just glad he's okay. So it's hard to kind of fathom that. There's over 55 riders that are out. I would say it's probably pushing 60 as of right now, and 55, 60, whatever it is. And that's people think of the number as being a big number of riders that are out. That's on pace. That's on pace for a third of the riders not finishing. So you're going to see a lot more. So as I told you before, get ready to see a bunch of people, Gandhi, because they have to work. So it's coming up. You're going to see a mass exodus at some point because they're realizing they don't have a month off. They don't have the time to take. So, they just have to, hunker in and get as far as they can, with the time that they have available. There's no shame in not finishing something when you have to get back to work. There's just nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. Life is not changing, unless you win the lottery on the way. I keep hoping Frosty's going to win the lottery. We have a plan for that, but I don't know if she's getting lottery tickets at every stop. Maybe every time you get gas, you should spend $2 on lottery tickets. You already stopped, and it would be really nice to get this. The wind's picking up for the, showtime, so stuff's blowing all over the place. But it's going good. Everybody's doing well and staying focused and coming in. I don't know the answer, to get back to the question, I don't know the answer of, how many have made the checkpoint. So we'll have to check on that. But there's Tomcat there. I think that's kind of cool. He's, working his way in. Stopped to get some gear outside of the checkpoint. So that's kind of fun. And we have somebody right here. Just randomly checking when I see multiple people stop because it usually means they're getting gas, getting something. out there sleeping this time of day. So it's fun to see where they're at. But they're all working their way and getting it in and getting the miles in and getting to the checkpoint. And that southern crew is getting after it. And the northern crew, who is now up through Lake Michigan, right there, they went around that, coming down. Chrisman is hitting the Mackinac City, the Mackinac Bridge, so that's really cool. This group right here, this riding where it's cold, in the morning it's foggy, they're chilly, and this crew came from down south where they were really dying in their climb gear and all their protective gear. They're just dropping because they can't take it. They can't take it, what they're doing. So now they're up here and it's freezing. You can't see anything in the morning. I saw that English was really struggling trying to get around here with all the fog and everything else. Got a lot of people up here. This is a cold time of year because it's always cold on the Great Lakes. People in the South don't realize how cold the water is on the Great Lakes. And Beastman, he's familiar with it. But they're up there, and I guarantee you they're chilly. They're going to have cold nights, cold, wet nights because fog comes in. So they're going to go up, come back down. But this is a tricky part through here. Some people are navigating it with great skill or with great insight. So I'm not sure which it is, but they're really navigating things and doing well. But you check this out. I want to see where there's Nicholson, there's English down here, Grand Rapids, Michigan, working his way. There's Pee Wee. That Rogers is not in it. So I don't know why that tractor's still on, but it's been sitting there for a hot minute. 1015, he may be at a dealership. Let's see where he's at, because he may be one of the many riders that have that looks like he's at a service plaza, so he's not getting a bike fixed, and he's on the interstate, so I would say that rider is done and just doesn't get checked off yet. But we got Pee Wee, hanging in there right behind Yost, and they're coming in. They're again right next to Great Lake, so they're really getting to see the Great Lakes, which is, if you're from the South, is an awesome thing to see. So they're getting into some places here. They're going to be very, technical to ride from here on out. You just got to get through the kind of towns that fill this in. This whole area at one time was the auto industry, so this is a lot of older, rundown places where brake factories, things like that. Is it hard to hear? Is it better to hear like this? Because if it's better to hear like this, I'll do that. So as Diane says, hard to hear. And it's loud here, and if it's better, I'll use this microphone because I don't need to be heard outside of this. So if somebody comments on that, that'll be perfect. If this makes it any better. Are you listening to it, Hydro? What's that? Oh, how you doing, my man? Somebody's walking up. I can show the camera. Oops, wrong one. Perfect. How you doing?
Good. How you?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you. You guys out here having fun at the rally?
Trying to every day.
Good. I don't know, that camera's a little off where you're standing, but there you go. How long you been at the rally?
About 3 days.
3 days? Awesome. You got any speeding tickets? Not yet, he says. Hopefully not. All right. Yeah, when the Harley cranks up, it's a little loud, but I'll keep this microphone up instead, and we'll be all good. So as long as you can hear me, that's perfect. So I'll check these riders here. Did you get yourself a wild ass?
Yep.
Yeah, so you getting ready to ride?
More, yeah, back home, 1,500 miles.
How many miles?
1,500.
1,500 miles to home. So he just scooped up this wild ass, getting ready for the long haul. How many days do you plan to do that in?
2 days.
2 days. That's awesome. Where's home?
Yep, from Louisiana.
Louisiana. Yeah, you don't sound like a Yankee.
Nope.
Kind of guessing that he's not from Maine. Here at the rally, man, you get people from everywhere, man. There's a lot of people here from, outside our country. So it's crazy that, you know, there were French people here. I was trying to get my damn, Google Translate to work, but I told them to hold on a second, but I didn't even get that in English enough where they could understand it, so it was all right. But man, make sure you help yourself to a bracelet. Everything, help yourself to anything you want there. It's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got everything. All right, I'm gonna check some riders here. While we're doing that, got sidetracked. You know, Pretty Butterfly. My wife gives me a hard time all the time for my brain and it being broken. You know, I'll be like hardcore on something, and then all of a sudden, somebody like Gromlin here will start stretching and it throws my brain into a loop. So it's all good. But 12:21. Burritos in Wisconsin ripping around. It's so fun to see that when you zoom in. Oh, I drew a pen and a paper here. So it's kind of fun when you zoom in, you get to see people. And, you know, like this guy's in town. You know, in town, he's on the Minnesota-Wisconsin border right there, up by Duluth. I grew up not far from there, hung out a lot around there. So, whoa, stuff's blowing around. So I'm familiar with this area a lot. So it's fun to see that. What's the other, 1360? They're all together, so they're right there. So that was easy. I almost typed it in because that's how not so smart I am.
337.
You know, they're right here, Duluth. So here's Duluth, there's Proctor, Hermantown. Little Hermantown right here is where, oh dang it, that goes away, it's so small. But this little dinky town right here is where my sister lives. And right here feeds the NHL with all kinds of hockey players. So this little blink your eyes and you miss it, you know, town, you don't get to see it. You know, if you're even on a highway or anything, you're not going to see it. But that little town has a bunch of hockey players. My nephews played hockey there. They were in the state tournament every year. It's really, really cool. So it's kind of fun. But so obviously I'm pretty familiar with this place. But those guys are right in line. They are in line to easily make the party. They're really doing good. They're going to be your top. They're going to be your top tier riders. Someone says they're off course. Yeah, that happens. Oh yeah, you zoom in. Yeah, obviously Snowden's off course because we saw this with the other group. There's a bunch of directions here that weren't quite right, and it's awesome because, you know, things get mixed up, and this is the challenge. You know, the challenge is trying to navigate things that, you know, throw you for a loop. You think your brain tells you one thing, but the directions are going to tell you another, but you're not seeing it right because your brain insists it's got to be this. And I love that. I mean, I think that's what makes the challenge the challenge. And right now, this place, it's cleaned up now, but back when, you know, I was dating my wife, so, you know, a lifetime ago, this was pretty dumpy here. And right about now, he'd be in the hood, but it's been rebuilt back up and cleaned up and, you know, not quite so bad, but he's definitely off route. And the crazy thing about that is you can't just jump off when you get off and you end up in Minnesota on any of these bridges that come across. When you end up in Minnesota, you're just screwed. It's not like you took a wrong turn in another town. That's a 2-mile bridge right here. And when you go across the bridge, you come across into Minnesota, you don't have a choice but go tootling up here. And now you get off of it. It's not like a regular interstate where you just jump off and then jump back on and go. Nope. You're going to be navigating around, looking around. And if he doesn't realize he's in Minnesota, it's really going to be funny because he's looking for the next turn that will never come. Here's some riders here that, you know, whenever you see them stop, you got guys that are riding together and they're all split up and they're all stopped. They're all trying to figure it out, you know, and they might have all decided at an intersection, you go left, you go right, and I'll go straight, you know, and we'll figure it out. And then let's get back together and see who finds the right way. So that could be what they're doing, you know, teamwork makes the dream work kind of thing. So it's hard for me to tell. I don't know. I'm not in their mind. I just think it's really funny to watch it and to cheer it on. You know, that's what the Hoka Challenge is about. You know, you got to dig deep. You got to find your way, find yourself, and find, you know, what you can do no matter how deep you dig to get there. And what we talked about the other day with Jim Red Cloud, founding this and coming up with this ride, it's not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be, a cakewalk ride. It is a challenge. It's grueling. It's, a big. It represents a lot of, his people that were marched onto reservations and how they were marched. You didn't have a choice. You were slept outside, and you're seeing a lot of that now. These people got to dig deep and do really crappy stuff. So can tell that Raleigh has a lot more action now. Yeah, it is. Sturgis is really picked up, and it is really busy. So it's just cranking out here. And I was just reading a comment here, so it's kind of fun. But these guys are really going to town, hitting this. This would be a great relief for the riders that came from down south. These guys have been killing it in the heat down south. This is going to be a nice break for them. It's going to be, not so wearing when you're not so hot. And now they're going to get through that, and they're going to be riding crazy, stupid technical roads, and they're going to have to deal with that. So it's like, yeah, enjoy your break. And the other way around, the riders that were up there, they're sick of that, and they're thinking this is a nice break, ripping down here. All these riders right here are all headed down to Texas. Here's Gopher right here. See, I think that's, Gopher's not like banging around. Gopher is tooling along. Gopher is tooling along on I-40. I-40 happens to lead to Arizona, where he lives. So I'm thinking Gopher is headed home. I kind of thought he might head up to Woodstock where he has family, but I think he's a little banged up, so I think he's heading home. So I'll check Dash out. Somebody wants to see Richard and Ridgeway. They must have made out there riding, but they made the checkpoint. They're doing great. I think they made the checkpoint. I guess I should really take a look around, see where they're at. Had a little hiccup there in the giddy up. But they're doing really good. I love those guys, and they're a lot of fun. And oh yeah, they're well into it. So they're long gone. They're heading into Missouri. They're heading over by, which is really funny when that kid today looked at where he lived, and it was Doo-Doo. And Doo-Doo was the name of the guy right by himself. So the 8-year-old kid really got a kick out of that. So he thought that was pretty funny. Pretty funny. But this is beautiful country here too, like they're riding through. So this is just 1333. He's just banging it, through beautiful country, a lot of water. So it's going to be hot, humid. I mean, it is August, so they're doing that. Let's see, what else we got? Anybody else you want to hit? And I just saw in the comments that the rider I was talking about that hit the car has made it public. It's Bradley. So let me see. I don't think Bradley's tracker is up at all, so. Nope. His tracker is shut off. It is done. But he's the one that hit the car last night, and I don't know any of the details, so maybe we'll get him on one day and hear all about it. It's pretty, a little bit, I don't know if traumatic's the word, but definitely, heart-stopping when a car pulls out with no headlights on that blew through a red light as you're tootling along with a lot on your mind, and next thing you know, you find yourself in an intersection where there's a car, no lights, middle of the night, and you don't know what the hell happened. So I'm really glad to hear that, it didn't kill him, because cars and motorcycles don't mix. So Bradley, if you happen to catch this, man, I am super happy that you're walking away from that in any way, shape, or form. That's a no-joke accident, and my heart dropped a little bit when I heard you hit a car, and I heard that you totaled your bike. It wasn't like you just bumped the car and fell over, so it's really, really tough. Yeah, if you're still with the bike and started to hear me, or is that the old comments? There we go. Sorry, hanging through comments. Yeah, everybody's doing awesome. It's really hard to see this when you look. I'm looking at a computer, but I looked this up on a phone, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, when you look at this right here, and remember, there are 55, maybe 60 people that have been removed from this. That's 55 people that's been removed. And just think of how spread out over the country this is. I mean, this is just insane when you really think about it. I mean, you think that you look ahead and you look at Teeter and Brian and Dirty Dan there, and they started the same day as these riders back here, right here. So these riders right here, they started the same day as those guys. Same day, and now they're going up here. They got to go up here, all the way back down, and that's amazing to me that in 8 days that it gets so spread out. Absolutely crazy how spread out that gets, and that's always amazed me. At whatever the route is, it just amazing that, you know, Dirty Dan will come into the finish line, Yost will come into the finish line, English will come into the finish line, Brian Kern will come into the finish line, and Nancy will come in, and there's going to be riders at the halfway point. Everybody's set out with a mission to finish, to get to the party, to win it, get the top 1, 2, 3, 10, whatever their goals are. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a group of people sitting there, and there are going to be people with half of the ride to go. And that's hard to fathom sometimes. And I don't know how many people have that much time that they can give to the challenge. So I'm really going to be interested to see how that pans out. There's Hippie 2 and Tomcat right here. Oh, we checked on them already. They're at a house. I like that. They've got to be getting cleaned up. Something. Tomcat's really been going hard. I want to share a couple things here. So this is one of them I want to share. This is Big Balls Matt. That is his Venmo. If anybody wants to buy him a tank of gas and donate 25 bucks for his lap around Lake Michigan, you can put Lake Michigan Scenic Tour for the comments, whatever you put. But his thing is at justmatt-1075. So I think that's kind of funny. He is riding for charity, but this is to help him out with his gas, just to make up the cost of his extra lap around Lake Michigan. So I think that's kind of funny. So, and everybody is riding their own ride and doing amazing. I've been saying that all week, that if you give it 100%, that's all you got to do. Your 100% can have a different outcome than somebody else's 100%. If you give it 100% and Teeter gives it 100%, I'll just pick these two riders right here that I can see plain as day. So you got Teeter and Housework right here. If one gives it, if they each give it 100%, their 100% may have a different outcome. Someone could come in second place, and somebody could come in 273rd place. So one never knows what the outcome is going to be, but you do know that when you give it 100%, you can go home feeling good about yourself, and there's no time to feel bad, have any regrets. If you give it 100%, you're not going to have any regrets. So Tim should have a talk with the guy grinding. So at first I thought it was some dating app grinder that she said that, so that was kind of funny. So yeah, it is what it is. This is a rally. There's all kinds of noise, and I don't want to say anything about Hydro and noise, because he had noise from our neighbors last night. He wasn't very happy about it, so that was good. So I want to check on Big Balls Matt right now, see where he's at. I think he should change his name too. He hasn't yet. There he's riding with somebody. I wonder when they're riding together, like if he tells him, like, yeah, I'm the dude that went around Lake Michigan again. And there's some other people that made that same mistake he did and never went around Lake Michigan. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out at the end. Now it's long gone, and I kind of laugh, but there's people who have not followed the route, and they are long past it. So, and there's people that may be out in front of their respective groups, in the top 10, that are going to be highly disappointed when that tracker goes public and somebody goes, I remember this day right here. Hey, we turn that down. We turn the volume down. got backfeed because I hear myself talking right next to me because his phone's sitting on the table with the show on. But I think people are going to be highly disappointed when they get to the end and they find out that they missed something, and you know they have something going on. So this is pretty good. You know, we'll there it is. Oh, dang it. I hit the wrong button. If Yost is going to catch Bubba. And I think that would be so awesome if you are... Why is that not working? There we go. And let's see where Bubba is. Michael is out there killing it after he sat in Minnesota forever and waited to get his motorcycle fixed. Waited and waited and waited, and now he got going again, and he had to go all the way from Minnesota. Let's see, right here is where he broke down, right where Walker is. 1276 right there, that's where he broke down. So look at how far he's had to go. Just follow the trail of motorcycles. That's what he's had to do all the way across here, where there aren't any motorcycles even on that part of it anymore, but all the way up here. So I think it'd be awesome if Yost can catch up to any of these riders of the other group, because that would be just mind-boggling as a rider, that all of a sudden you're getting passed by another rider and then you realize he's not even in your group. I don't know about any of you, but I would just be like, wait, what? That would be just a beat down on my ego, I think. But it's pretty cool. Let's see, anybody got any questions? Anybody they want to see? Anybody they want to check on? Anything you want me to... If you see somebody, oh, the camera's not on, but does anybody want me to ask any questions to outside? That'd be great. That would be good. Is Bubba's tracker not working? Because somebody said he made it to the checkpoint, but the tracker is stuck right here at the border, and that's not the checkpoint. So I don't know. Maybe his tracker's not updating. I don't know what that is. So unless this is the way out after Rhode Island, they go back up. I don't know. I can't remember anything, but he's doing great. Raindrop is doing great. Raindrop had her lights go out. Thank you. Her lights went out on her bike, her auxiliary lighting. So she made it to the checkpoint to get it fixed. And, you know, she's out there killing it. She had a wreck in 2024. She's been waiting for this for a long time. She's been working her ass off, not riding, but working her job. And now she's excited to be out there doing this, especially after a letdown in 2024 when your bike gets totaled and, you know, just sucks like that. So she's out there, and I tell you what, she's killing it, and she's not waiting on anybody. She's doing her thing. And I think that's what's making her so successful, is she's not getting tied in with anybody else. If somebody rides with her that wants to ride for a while, you know, she knows, obviously, she's super friendly and super nice. She won't have any problem with that. But, you know, she's not letting it deter her from doing her ride, and I dig that. So I like that. 1288 Roadrunner. I think we hit Roadrunner already, but I'll hit him again. It's all good. Yeah, they're at the general store, chilling out, getting some gas. Either that or they're over at Ike's Takeout. Oh, the Cooks and Diner. Geez, how can you not eat there? So that's what I'm guessing, is they're filling their bellies up. Teeter talked him into eating. We gotta eat, man. Look at this. He's like, Teeter's from the South. He lives in Mississippi. You go past a good barbecue, like, he's not gonna pass that up. So I'm blaming that stop on Teeter. And but they're doing great. I mean, they're in Oklahoma. The leader down here is into Texas, but this is a good rip through here. There is, you know, Medicine Park, where the taco run is at. Let's see who else had it. Ronimo's been doing really good when I've been watching him. He's in Illinois right now, and he is with Pat. See, are they stopped or are they rolling? Probably eyeing up that guy's pool right there, thinking, man, what a nice day to stop in and say hello to the middle of farm country. Got four, it looks like four riders kind of riding together right there. And they are moving up right there, heading up right by Tomcat. So they're going to be coming in pretty quick. You really, all these riders here are really pushing it because they literally have to make the, they have to make the checkpoint to have a chance at finishing this. And this is a great camera view, or a great view of the tracker right here, because we got Rob, Taco, and we got Value, and we got Frosty. She's not come up. All right there. So some great, monster riders right there. We got Scout up there, Johnson down here, Big Mike. So it's kind of fun, and it's, you look at this, you're like, there's so much going on with the rides and the different routes, and everybody coming into the same place, coming from different directions. You don't know what the hell's going on. You gotta really look at them and be like, hey, who's lost? Like the beginning, you can tell when somebody's off track, and you get one guy going over here. Now this chaos over here, you don't know who's off. They could all be right. It just looks wrong because you're trying to follow a tracker and it's not a straight line. I know some people are in the same group, so I know they're going the same way and working their way to the checkpoint. I'm cheering on these monster riders, hoping they make a checkpoint tonight because it will do a world of good for their, their mental state. And I think that goes a long way. So if you can get to the checkpoint, the midway point by day 8, you can really dig deep now and start riding, to your ability and make that end of the road party. So I think it's great. I'm sad that we lost 12 or 13 riders so far, but that's the Hoka. That's what happens. Wrong Way had great plans for this Hoka. This was his 3rd Hoka. He had planned to do great things. Learned a lot from his first 2 times. Spent an entire year recruiting riders to ride for Mile Monsters Inc. Got himself all set up, bike running great. Right before the Hoka starts, his bike, shits the bed. So he borrows a motorcycle, and then it shits the bed. And it's one of those things that, it's just not meant to be. Iceman got repeated problems with his motorcycle, and sometimes, it's just the way it is, and that's, I told Iceman, sometimes the good Lord will talk to you, and he's not going to throw lightning bolts down and scream down from the heavens with, angels singing, back up to him, like that. Sometimes they're gentle nudges, and they're little gut feelings you get, or something happens to your bike. So, like, Iceman's bike continued problems, and then he went home, and it got home, and his charging system took a dump. So, that's just, some things are not meant to be, and maybe you're not supposed to be in Kentucky 3 days from now. Maybe somebody on this road is not supposed to be in Oklahoma, next week. And I'll tell you what, I'll take it. I'd rather see somebody with a story than somebody with a cross on the side of the road, because they didn't listen to their gut. They pushed where they shouldn't have been pushing. So, we're trying to have a serious accident-free, Hoka. 2024, there was no one that passed away on that ride, and it was an awesome feeling to be a part of that and not lose a friend doing a ride like this. So, that was really good, and I want to keep that streak alive and keep it up. So, all the riders, I hope you stay safe. I hope you make good choices. Feed your mind, your body, and your soul. Your mind, your body, your soul, and your bike. So add the soul in there too, because you gotta be right when you're riding. And these people are all pushing hard. I talked about this at the noon show about a couple of riders that were doing things wrong, bothering people at night. So I hope somebody reached out to them, because they're right there, 12-13 and 12-15, the 2 riders that are together. So I hope somebody reached out to them and told them to do their own thing, ride their own ride, and not be in other people's business, especially at night when people need to sleep. So that's great. Larry Bradley hit a car last night, ran a red light, and did not have their headlights on, and he hit it. He's going to be okay. He is okay. and his beautiful bike is not so okay. But that's just the bike, and that can be replaced. So we're not sweating that at all. I'm happy that that's all it was. So that's great. And thank you, Matt, for going there and greeting Frosty and Value. That's meant when if you could do me a great favor, Lisa, and give them both a big old biker hug for me. I wish I was there to do that. You know, it's hard for me to be here when so much excitement is somewhere else, especially when, you know, I planned all this out. You know, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be a start, a midway, and an end. It would have been a great place to just set up shop and hang out, you know, for a couple weeks. So, but this is fun too, and we're really raising a lot of awareness for Mile Monsters Inc. We're literally talking to thousands of people a day, and it is amazing out here. It's a lot of fun. I've met a lot of people. I cannot believe the amount of people that have come up to us who know a rider riding in the Hockey, having us look up numbers. I have a 55-inch TV here, and you can, you know, see what I'm seeing on my computer right now. So if they walk by, they're checking us out. But it's amazing that the amount of people, hey, can you look up so-and-so? Hey, can you look up so-and-so? Oh, Siggy's my friend. You know, I rode there to help her train. Somebody just came in and did that. And little Harley, who was riding with her, you know, and these are two girls. These are two girls, if you put them both on a scale and me on the other scale, I'd probably tip it heavier. You know, that's how little they are, and it just amazes me that these two little things can just do such a great job riding. And Siggy, you know, rides for cancer treatments, and, you know, she has beat cancer twice, and she's just such a fighter. She's such a tiny little thing, and then she's like, okay, yeah, and then I'm going to go get on a Harley Davidson and, you know, throw around a full bagger, a fully loaded bagger around twisty, gnarly roads doing that. So I don't know, mad props to those girls. So it's really cool. All right, how are the Owens? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good one. Thank you for bringing that up. We'll go with the kid. Give the kid some love. This is the father and son team. Where they at? Let's see where they stop. Oh, they're at Walmart. Somebody needs something. I guess it's the kid. He didn't have jack shit for bags or anything. So he's saying, Dad, I got stuff at Walmart, man. I'm out of clothes. I decided to change my underwear this week. I thought I could be tougher than that, but I smell awful. So for whatever reason, I'm saying it's a kid didn't have something with them. They're at Walmart getting your supplies. And you know, as I told people, you don't need to bring everything with you. Like, there are Walmarts across the country, and there are Dollar Generals every 11 miles. So there's that. But they're actually doing really good, man. I can't wait to hear the story from this kid, what it was like to ride with Dad, and what it was like to have your son with you on this ride. I wouldn't give two shits if I finished this ride or not, if I had my daughter or either of my boys with me. It would just be awesome to spend 14 days. If I did the one half of it and made it to the midway point, which is the finish line too. So if I make it to the midway point in 14 days, but I got to spend that with any one of my kids, I would consider that a freaking home run, and I would take that to my grave as the highlight of my motorcycle career. Anything else I did would be a distant second place. Anything. I can't think of one thing I've done on a motorcycle that would be even close to topping that, and that's somebody who wouldn't even be listed as a finisher. But they got to spend 14 days with a kid, riding on crazy roads, telling a story of awesomeness like that. I mean, that just makes me, you know, kind of jealous, kind of thinking about the next one. And maybe I'll talk my daughter to get in a motorcycle. I'll give her one of mine if she wants to ride the 2020. I'll throw that out there right now. So Taylor, my daughter Taylor, it's her birthday today. Again, I want to mention that. If you want to ride in 2028, I'll give you a motorcycle to do it on. So that would be pretty awesome. I would love that. So to the Owens that are out there, rider number 1057, and that's Dad. The kid would have a 13 for sure. You know, I love my 1357. That's pretty cool. 1057 and 1357. Those numbers are handed out, so that's pretty good. And as much as I want my daughter to ride with me, my wife chimes in and says, "No, I don't think so." I would move safety up a little bit. I'll make you that deal. maybe 2.5, something like that. I'd be gentle. I'd be really nice. I would hardly even ride hard. So that'd be awesome. But anyhow, they're doing great. They're doing great because they're still together. Who gives a shit where they are, how far they're going to go to finish? None of that even matters. None of that matters. This is what the rally's all about too, man. Right in front of me, there's a girl talking to Hydro about the ride, and a friend of hers walks by and they start chatting. So it's just kind of fun. So that's that. But anybody got anything else they want me to hit up, talk about, share a story, do whatever? Otherwise, we'll be out of here. I want to show the leader out there, you know, where Yost heading to Cleveland, you know, like the ride goes a lot of great places, but where Pee Wee and Yost are, it's not one of them. They're in Suckville right now. They're embracing the suck for sure. And Toledo to Cleveland is that suck. So a lot of twisties, a lot of cool roads, a lot of awesome country to see, but that's not it. They're in a shitty part, and if you're from there, sorry, I just see the crappy parts, so that's all good. But anybody else, let's see, you check the comments. I see anybody else might be looking at the comments, so and that part's all good. There's Carol. I don't know when you're coming out, but we're waiting for you. We're hanging out here at Black Hills Harley. It's exit 55 if you're coming to the rally. It's the first time you're driving by. Even if you're driving by and you follow Mile Monsters and you're not a biker, but you just happen to be going by, swing by, say hello. We met Samuel today. That was awesome. And they came to Sturgis on accident because they didn't even know the rally was going on. But they're getting life lessons in a hurry. There's Hyde, Teach, Value, Frosty. This is a Rob. There's just monsters lined up through here, so that's pretty cool. So anybody that's there, 1319. I'll bang that one up quick. 1319. 1319. Riding with people. Looks like they're taking a break right there, or waiting for somebody, but their bike is shut up. If his other bike stops at him, then you know he's stopped, and he could have bike problems, could have anything, and maybe we'll be watching as something happens, or it could be off a little bit. He could be taking a nap at that little community association place. Nope. Run flat stop to say hello too. And let's see, where are they at? See what time of day it is. Nope. All right, there they go. They both get going and they're off. So they're all good. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure they're good. They're in Indiana. So they're killing it. This is an amazing sight to see. I mean, just look at how, and think about this. Every one of these riders started out at the exact same time in the exact same place a week ago. 1 week ago, all these riders left at the exact same time from the exact same place. A week ago, Sunday. Like, that's just sick when you think about it. In 1 week, we've had motorcycles getting wrecked, tires, but more importantly, we've had memories being made, great miles laid down, and a lot of excitement all happening around, you know, the country, especially, you know, from West Texas all the way to Rhode Island, and that's pretty awesome. Let's see how Hippie's doing. Hippie's in Indiana. I'm glad. Remember, if you go back to day one, he was all mad because he went the wrong way for a long ways out of the way, but he's embracing the suck and he's doing his ride, but he's heading in. Everybody's doing great, man. As long as they're giving it 100%, that's all you can do. So it's pretty good. Yeah, I love the tracker that the Hoka uses. You know, people bang on everything, and that's the thing about the internet. That's the thing about, you know, everything. Everybody wants to find the negative in things and be a pain in the ass and bitch about this, bitch about that. I wish they did this, wish they did that. Just embrace what it is and how cool it is. I mean, where else? Like I said at lunchtime, I'm sitting at a motorcycle rally in South Dakota, the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, where there's all kinds of chaos and madness. I'm in a parking lot, but I have access to an internet. I have a computer sitting in front of me. and I can zoom in and look at the exact street that Hippie's riding down somewhere in the middle of the country after they left, Woodstock, and we could watch them go anywhere. Like right now, I could send Hippie a text right now and be like, man, that's a cool farm. Reminds me of my childhood off to your right. And he'd be looking off to the right. He's going to be seeing this field. Hey, Hippie, man, I thought about going hunting down there. You seen a lot of deer sign, whatever it is. And when you sit back and think about the world we live in and how cool this is, and that all these riders are connected to one another in a certain way because they're all fighting the same exact roads. Not at the same time, as you can see, they're all split up, but they all have something in common. They're all banging the same roads, and we can watch it. We can look and just pick. I don't even know who this Bailey is. 1306. 1306, and I'm zooming in, and that is a no joke road. Wildlife 619. I want to see where this is because that looks familiar. They're in Jersey. I'm gonna laugh. They are. I was laughing. I was like, that 619 looks familiar. Yeah, it looks familiar because one of my best friends lives right over here. I live not far from here. Let's see, where are we at? Yeah, that's just too funny. But I zoom in, just randomly pick a rider, and I zoom in and I recognize it. I'm like, yeah, I know that road. That's because I ride around up there all the time. So, but here we can watch 1306 and watch this rider, guy, girl, whatever that is, just riding along. We know they stopped. We know that they're not sure which way to go right now. We can feel what they're feeling. Like right now, this rider is frustrated, tired, mad, sad, whatever the emotions are, stopped on the corner of the road and trying to figure out if we go left, right, if I'm even on the right road. Man, what did I do wrong? How did I get here? Why did I sign up for this? Where are my friends? That's what they're going through. So it's pretty crazy, and I think it's pretty awesome that we live in a time that we can do this and we can watch this. And a lot of people watching this and following this are never going to be good enough to do it, but you can watch this and understand it, be a part of it, and feel it. For 14 days, you can feel like you're part of it. You can look at anybody you want to look at and follow them. If you want to follow 1057, you would know exactly what they're doing all the time. There's the Owens again, sitting at a Walmart. If I was on the road, I'd go buy them dinner just because I think it's so cool. So you got people traveling all over the place. These groups of people, you're going to see Hoka Hay riders run into each other all the time. So just awesome. So stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to do the noon show from here at the rally. Hopefully there won't be a lot of pipes and everything else getting revved up, but if there is, it is. Maybe we'll figure out a way to go mobile, take you to some of the sponsors we have out here and promote them as well, because they really help us do what we do. But anyways, that's that. I look great. If my daughter rides with me, I'll make her return for sure, but I think my wife might stab me, so I think that's it. So that's a hard maybe. I don't plan to make a return in 2028. I like it from the sidelines. I did 4. There's only so much fate I can push. I do a lot of crazy things, and I feel good with my choice, but we'll see what happens. I didn't feel so good when everybody took off, I'll tell you that. I had a little FOMO going on for sure, and I really wish that I was somewhere out here tearing it up, and they were talking about Riot and where he is on this map, and if he shit the bed, if he had a great, he's having a great ride, whatever, I don't know what would happen. So hard to say, but it's fun to wonder, fun to look at these roads and zoom in. I can't even tell you how many times I've zoomed in on a road and been like, man, I bet that'd be really cool right there. It looks like some really awesome twisty roads, or I look at things I think I would shine on, certain riding styles that fit my skill set. And I'm like, man, that'd be a lot of fun. Man, maybe I should have done this. And then I look at pictures and interviews and videos. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I did. These people are getting their ass whooped. It's a young man's game, and you know, every year goes by. I'm not as young as I once was, so it's kind of fun to look at these guys out here, knowing that, you know, Roadrunner and Brand and you know, Brian are out there getting whooped. Dirty Dan put a fuel pump in, I heard, at some point. So, you know, a lot going on, you know, what they're doing, and it's just awesome. So that's all I got. That's all I got. And yeah, weather is hitting hard in Ohio. That's a definite setback to people. So it's, you know, you get weather. That's just luck. As you see here, that spread out, that's just luck. You know, Mother Nature loves you or hates you, but you're gonna get it one way or the other. And sometimes the rain feels good. You know, you don't go as fast, but it feels good. It feels good to get wet. You need a shower anyhow, it cools you off, whatever. So that's good. I see $1 billion. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I'll take $1 billion. You kidnap me for $1 billion anytime. Anyhow, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Barb. I'm into it. I have a lot of riders out there that mean a lot to me. I have friends. Take away everything else, I have very good friends out there that I love dearly. So I'm really invested into this. I want them to do well. I'm afraid for them. I'm anxious that they get to checkpoints. I'm anxious for it to end, you know, because of my friends. So I feel that for the first time, and I understand how my wife felt a lot better now that I'm on this side. And, you know, that part's not easy. If you're just a spectator, these are just riders doing crazy shit. If you got somebody out here you are married to, or, you know, dear friends, I mean, I have a lot of really good friends who mean the world to me riding this right now. So I'm like like watching a tennis match. I'm looking back and forth across the country, and, you know, I'm like, man, how are they doing? Oh man, they're red. You know, oh God, I hope his bike gets going. I feel what they feel because I understand it so well. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it makes me smile. Things make me angry when they get angry. Things make me happy when they're happy. And, you know, so it's like I have a family out there doing this. You know, 200 and some riders. I know a shit ton of them, and it's a lot of fun to hear their stories. So I appreciate that you guys appreciate it. So that's it. That's all I got. So I'll see everybody at noon tomorrow. It's gonna be crazy. So tune in at noon if you can. You know, I know tomorrow is a work day, but you can skip some stuff there. Nothing's gonna get missed at work that much. So or watch it later, whatever. We're gonna try to do a little shorter show at noon. Now it's the weekday, not the weekend, but there's a lot going on here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So with that, I am out of here. To my wife, I love you, darling. Can't wait to see you. To everybody else, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow. If I don't see you beforehand, might see somebody here in Sturgis. Been running to people like crazy. Peace. If I can end it. Now we're out. Peace.